Trapping plays a very important role in modern-day wildlife management. Professional wildlife biologists monitor fur-bearer populations to maintain a healthy and sustainable harvest of this important, renewable natural resource. Trapping provides recreation and income for licensed trappers across this country. Who's Your Trapper Outdoors is brought to you by Who's Your Trapper Supply. J3 Outdoors, manufacturer of the Hags Bracket and Body Trap Spring Clip. Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scents. Weeby Knives and Fur Handling Tools. HTS Productions. Who's Your Trapper Deer Scents. And Leatherwood Wildlife Art.
All right, welcome to episode 3, Who's Your Trapper Outdoors, season 7 already. On this episode, we will be Indiana trapping again, both land trapping and water trapping. So I hope you enjoy that. We will move on after this episode to some New Mexico trapping, and then back in Indiana for some marsh muskrat trapping. And as I mentioned earlier, this year we will do our semi-live trapping segments, which will be actually filmed this fall, 2018. And then just within a few days, then we'll have footage of those experiences. So obviously it's not live, but we're going to call it semi-live since the footage will only be just a few days old. Another thing I want to mention is be sure to keep in mind, mark your calendars, whatever, for those of you that are in Indiana or live close to Indiana. Typically we have people from bordering states. Come to our fall rendezvous. It's a Fur Taker Chapter 7B fall rendezvous here at Who's Your Trapper Supply. And it doesn't matter if anyone interested in trapping. You can be a veteran trapper of 40 or 50 years, or you can just be interested. So anyone's welcome, everyone's welcome. And as you'll see on this episode, we had a guy and his kids actually attend the rendezvous a year ago, new to trapping, really didn't know anything about it. Kind of got the bug, and we're out catching critters this year. So it's important that we continually introduce trapping to people that are interested and expose them to it. A lot of them are overwhelmed. They don't know how to start. They don't know where to start. So sometimes just taking them with you or bringing them to a trapping convention or a trapping meeting where they can see some demos and that kind of thing and help with that learning curve a little bit. So a lot of people, once they're exposed to it, they really like it, or they'll, at minimum, they'll understand it, and not be necessarily against it, or not be against it, and someday be working against you. So, unfortunately, we got plenty of that going on. Another thing I want to mention is, unfortunately, we had to raise our lure prices this year. With a number of other lure manufacturers did the same thing. And the reason behind that, it's not that we wanted to raise prices. The reason behind that is the base ingredients, the glands. Beaver castor is a really good example for those of you that have sold castor on international auctions. Has basically just continued to go up over the past few years, and it's gotten quite high. The demand actually on the international level has exceeded the supply. So we as lure manufacturers are continually paying more and more for raw product, and that's before any labor's been done. So that, along with there's not as many trappers out there as there are when the fur prices are high, producing those raw ingredients. So those two factors just kind of led us to be forced to raise our prices. So like I said, it's not that we wanted to do that. It was just kind of a cost of doing business thing, and I don't think at this point, unless that stuff just continues to skyrocket, I don't think we'll see any type of increase in the foreseeable future. One thing to kind of curb that cost is if you take a look at some of our package offers, and those will you're buying in all of them, you're buying urine, bait, and lure and combinations thereof, and all of those will save you pretty significant money. So that is another option to kind of get around some of that price increase. So anyways, just kind of an explanation for that. Like I said, I always feel bad about raising prices. So so on this episode, we will also have our set making segment and question and answer, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
got a few traps we've been checking this morning before work. Kind of a quick deal. Kind of see that bridge behind me. We got a couple coyote sets up there. We've been catching coyotes on it. In fact, there's a coyote up there right now bouncing around. We'll take care of him in a second. But when you're in locations like this, you got these farm ditches, and you know Indiana doesn't have a lot of rats anymore. But just jump off that bridge there and throw a couple traps down. It could be a pocket set for a coon or mink, or in this case we have some colony traps right here in front of me, where it gets narrowed down, and just put a couple 6x6 colony traps or whatever you got. Put some grass on top, and we got a little muskrat in there, pretty small, but like I said, it's pretty cool to catch them here in this state. Most everything rat-wise is in neighborhood retention ponds, so that the numbers aren't near as good as what we were catching in Michigan, if you've seen those episodes. But yeah, it takes 2 seconds to check these and and set them even. So it's just a little bonus while you're checking your coyote traps. So I suggest it, and it works well.
All right, here's the statistics. Set this up on Monday. Today's Saturday. Since Monday, at this location, this is the 4th coyote. We also caught a couple beavers here, and we just caught a muskrat in a colony trap. So this is obviously one of those good spots. I mean, out in this farm country, I love these long running ditches. That they're just long travel ways for coyotes, foxes, whatever. But of course, we don't have any foxes left because the coyotes ate them. But so anyways, yeah, just one of those classic locations. This one even has a bridge here to the right of where Justin's standing. But anyways, I'm gonna do some talking here. But so yeah, just one of those good, awesome spots. This location, Justin had a coyote yesterday on the other side of the creek here. So anyways, just one of those really good spots. So, black gold and a little bit of urine, and I did have a little bit of top dog. It was a flat set, but I did have a little top dog underneath, kind of a trash pile vacuum. So anyways, you couldn't resist it.
I've been a professional trapper for over 40 years, and in that time, I've skinned literally thousands of animals. I've learned that it doesn't matter how cool a knife looks on your hip. What really matters is sharpness and reliability. And that's why I created the Wiebe Wicked Sharp line of replacement blade knives. These are knives that will quickly skin your critters without skinning your wallet. Visit WiebeKnives.com to get the new Monarch folding knife with 3 replacement blades for just $19.95. Wiebe Knives, Wicked Sharp.
All right, we've been at this spot for 6 days. Just me and Charlie, 2 traps, 6 days, and this is the 5th coyote. It is definitely a hot highway right here. We're traveling big time. And not to mention the sets I was talking about earlier. They're, while you're at these bridges and stuff, punching a set down in the water for coon or mink, or in this case muskrats, because Charlie just pulled a muskrat out of the ditch too. So just kind of a multi-line before work and connected here. Got him in an MB550, kind of a trash pile deal. There was a dirt hole that punched back in there with some top dog, and there's plenty of urine. We didn't re-urine. Originally there was fox urine here. Coyote Carnage, I think we used to relure. I can't remember. We've caught so many. I keep mixing them up. It was either Black Gold or Coyote Carnage for this remake. But we'll take care of him and hope the streak continues. Probably Charlie will have one tomorrow.
Yeah, we're bouncing back and forth here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yesterday it was across the bridge, and today it's this side and yours.
Yeah.
All right. This is the set I caught the coyote in yesterday. Justin just caught the coyote over there, and I made it a flat set, and I put the top dog below the trash pile backing, buried it. The coyote, either a different coyote or the coyote that Justin caught did this. We have no way of knowing. I'm not going to jump to that type of speculation like some do. Without a camera here, we just don't know that. So anyways, just to give you an idea what the appeal is to that top dog, he literally, here's the trap, pan cover got pulled. he literally dug up where the top dog was and took took off with it. And anyways, of course we missed him in the trap, and he just got lucky. Bottom line, he just got lucky. But anyways, so I'm going to reset this. I'm not going to put the top dog in. I'm just going to put things back in place. There's plenty of smell here, and we'll see what happens. Anyway,
it's like a game of chess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty cool, really. So see if we can. We'll see if we can get number 6 here on this location. Anyways,
Top dog predator bait. Success speaks for itself.
All right, we're back here in a little farm ditch, and we've caught a lot of beaver here on and off over the years. And you know, it's causing havoc for the farmers here, flooding the crops. So they're happy for us to be here getting rid of them. We've already caught one in the 330 off the dam a couple days ago, and there's only 3 traps here. One was 330, and I threw two snares in on some decent slicked up slides that they were using coming and going to the crops. The other one hasn't been touched the whole time, but this one was knocked over one day, had some sticks and debris. He must have just pushed it over when he was carrying whatever he was carrying. Probably because I had some beaver gland lure here, and them marking their territory like they do, he might have possibly been carrying that debris to make a caster mount set on top of that, reclaiming his territory. But you know, that's just a guess. But today we connected on a nice big old beaver. We're gonna take care of him, and I don't know, based off the damage, it's hard to say, but I bet this might be the last 2, or the only 2 that's over here. But we'll keep these traps out and see kind of what happens. That's about it.
What do you think? Dude, I'm pumped. First coyote? I can't believe it. Super excited.
All right, we're here, second night at this location. It's a great runway here. There's you got 2 crop intersections line here. You got the fence row right on the corner, and right behind us is a good little ditch creek. Great location. Second night here, there was a flat set that my buddy here, Derek, put in. He's new to trapping. He actually showed up to our 7B rendezvous at Hoosier Trapper. Kind of got the bug. Met him through a good friend, and I let him set these up here. And what do you think? I think it was a good spot.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Can't tell you how excited I am. Like I said, me and Justin are pretty new friends. I just want to thank him and all the guys at Hoosier Trapper for the full experience. These guys are the real deal. I can't wait to see what's next. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah. Another cool thing too, his son, they had set some dog proofs behind their house, and Brady, his son, caught his first coon this morning, and so it's been a good day for him.
Having a great time.
Yeah, so everyone's excited. The weather's been great, getting out here trapping. Charlie, he caught a muskrat at a different farm around the corner, and we've been on a hot streak. We've been catching critters every morning with very little traps set, just before work kind of trap line. So we're going to take care of this, reset it, and hopefully we can hook up on another one here in the next few days. So stay tuned.
Hags Trapping Products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
All right, got a beaver here in a TS-85. He's looking to charge. We're at a nice creek here. Runs good. There's a lot of chew signs on the bank over there. We snared one over there. And here we didn't have time for a drowner slide set up, so there, kind of right below where that chain's attached to. I put some beaver gland and nestled this big old trap in there. First night connected. It slides on up there, so I mean it's active. There's all kinds of animal tracks in there, and coon to deer to whatever. But we caught this big guy and snared the one on the other, so pretty cool. All right, continuing with our set making series. This one's going to be on troubleshooting off of the baseline fundamentally made dirt hole that I've worked on the past 2 episodes. And this one, everybody runs into it. I don't care who you are. Everybody runs into this scenario right here. They come and check their trap, and the trap, sometimes they just will have some of the pan cover exposed. Sometimes it will be more disheveled like this right here. Sometimes the trap will be, you know, clear up on its side. Just all kinds of crazy scenarios that you'll run into. And the majority of the time, if you don't have any tracks, or unless you had a trail camera on it, you know, and you can't tell what it is, normally the more radical it is, particularly if the trap are up on its side, or sometimes they'll be upside down, all that kind of stuff, way more often than not it's a raccoon that's doing that. So normally when it's like that, the first time that it's like that, I will probably just remake the set just like it was, and not go to any special lengths to work on catching that particular animal. The coon just got lucky. So if it were a raccoon that did all that, he just got lucky. He's feeling around in this loose dirt. I've talked about this before. They like the feel of that dirt. They like the feel of cover holes. They like the feel of anything loose. They're going to feel around in it. You know how their front feet are like hands. And they just caught the edge of that trap and they just flipped it over. He didn't know what that trap was. He didn't know how lucky he got. But that happens to all of us. So particularly if you're in an area, you know, you're up against the woods, or a scenario where you're more likely to run into those animals, raccoons, possums, those animals, but specifically we're talking about raccoons right at the moment. You know, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and remake the set. If it continues, I come back the next day, it's the same thing, or 2 days later, it's the same thing, then, and you still don't see any tracks, but you're still kind of figuring that it's a raccoon, then I would get some dog proofs out, and I would actually just put 2 or 3 dog proofs kind of in that general area, and hopefully that'll keep those raccoons from messing with your set, and that'll head them off. It's not 100%, but you got a good chance that you'll catch those raccoons in that scenario, and hopefully then they'll leave your coyote set alone, particularly if you haven't caught them in the coyote set. Another thing that you can do is you can, if you are up along some sort of fringe border, which is always excellent areas to set, you know, on the edge of deep woods or a fence row or whatever, if there's trails in there, the raccoon trails, set those up. If it's legal in your state, set them up with some 220 body traps and catch those coons coming in and out of those trails. And that works really well too, in order to keep them out of your coyote set. Now, let's assume that it was a coyote that actually did this. Here again, I'm just going to go remake the set again. We're gonna say, okay, it was a digger coyote, maybe a digger fox if you're in an area where they got foxes. I'm just gonna go ahead and make the set again, and then I'm gonna wait and see what happens. A lot of times the curiosity will get them, you'll catch them, but then once in a while you've got one that's you know, kind of wise to that setup of a dirt hole, and he's gonna mess with you. So what you can do is you can pull out, figure he's seed for next year, or you can try to catch him. So one option that you've got is, we're going to go ahead and remake the set. We're going to get it back to where it was originally. And we're going to leave it pretty much like he left it. Let's say when he got done, we kind of had this stuff exposed like that. Okay. So one thing that you can try. So let's back up just to make sure I'm clear.
So you come to check your trap, and this is the second or third occasion that this has happened. You're pretty certain, maybe by tracks or indications, that you've got a digger, coyote, or whatever that he has left partially exposed. Typically, what we can try at this point is leave that trap just like you left it, and then we're going to come back here. We're going to try to blend. We're going to try to just blend one in here. Just for a quick reference, this trap had one of those expand pans on it. I know some like them. Our experience with them, they caused us way more issues than they were worth, so we actually took them off. Justin took this off. You've got the animal stepping on the pan and the jaw at the same time. You've got dead areas in the pan where the trap's not going to fire. I'm not out there to knock anybody as to what they're doing or whatever, but for us it just didn't work, and like I said, it created way more issues, way more problems, way more visits to a set that were stepped on that we weren't catching critters. So we took them off. That pan, when that trap's designed, that trap is designed for the best scenario for that trap. And if it was intended to have that giant pan on it, the manufacturer probably would have put it on there to begin with. So sometimes we can overthink things, and this is my perspective. I'm not saying, that. Anyways, our scenario was that it caused us way more issues than what it was worth. So I'm not going to stake this trap just because we're just doing this for demo purposes. But we're gonna just blend another trap in back here on the back. Pin cover. Now this is we're cheating a little bit because it's obviously late summer. So in the winter it's going to be a little bit different scenario, but you can take some of this and kind of blend this in. So hopefully the next time this animal visits, this fox or coyote, he's going to come up, he's going to see what he did the night before, and then hopefully that you'll catch him in this trap back there that you've blended kind of on the right side. I'm jumping to several conclusions here. We're kind of jumping to the conclusion that he's going to kind of favor for the right side when he comes in. He might be coming in from here, or he might be coming in from over here and doing all this messing around. So, this is just another option of catching that coyote when he comes back to visit this location. You may, and you may catch a coyote and you think, oh, I caught the coyote that was causing me issues. Well, it might have been a different one. So, without a camera and without identifying marks on that specific coyote, in a way you really don't know if it's the same one you caught or you were having, that you caught that you were having the issues with. So but that is an option. Over the years it has proven to work, and definitely has caught critters, and if push comes to shove, if you're in the Midwest like we are right here and there's a lot of coyotes, sometimes it's hard to say whether you're catching the right one or not. But this scenario does work. And this is not going to repel anything here at all. It's just going to spark interest. They don't know what a trap is. So anyways, this is something that you can do just to throw at a coyote that may be causing problems. But like I said, initially it's almost always raccoons, and there's other things you can do with your dog proofs, 220 body traps, that type of thing, to set up and doing that to help head them off before they get to your sets. So anyways, that's our troubleshooting segment for this particular episode, working off of the fundamentally made dirt hole, and then we'll have something next time on our set making segment.
Lip Licker Deer Lure. Success speaks for itself.
All right, a question that I commonly get is where I got the bag that I use when I'm trapping. And to back up, if I'm working really close to the truck or really close to the vehicle, I'm using the bag. If I'm walking anyways at all and I'm having to carry more than just a couple traps, carry a couple traps or more and the drags or whatever, then I'll use the pack basket. So I do use the Fiber Tough pack basket probably more than I use the bag, but the bag is really handy if you're close to your vehicle. And where I got that bag was at a home store. I got it at Menards 2 or 3 years ago, and I have, to be honest, I have been back since, and haven't seen that same bag. There are definitely a number of carpenter bags that you can buy and use those. We sell the Leggett's bags and of course the Fiber Tough baskets and the regular traditional pack baskets, and they all work very, very well. It depends on the setup that you have and the scenario that you have. So anyways, if you're in a home store, you might take a look at the bags and see if there's one there that you like, if you like the idea of that particular bag. But anyways, that's kind of where that's at. Another question, and the other question I want to address is somebody asked if we pre-bait sets or locations prior to the season opening. And that we don't. And a couple of things. One is if we go out of state, obviously we have no way to pre-bait. So we're going in, and that's kind of a whole different scenario. One thing that I personally really enjoy is, and I've mentioned it before, is when we go out of state, is the challenge of completely new geography. It's kind of like somebody just dropped you off in a location that you've never been before, and you got to try to figure out how to catch critters. Particularly if it's a significant geography change from what you're used to in areas that you've trapped in the past. Like, from Indiana to New Mexico, was significant. So I really enjoy that challenge. Sometimes it's not super efficient. Sometimes it's not super successful. But I really enjoy the challenge of trying to figure that out. So anyways, going back to the pre-baiting, typically we don't. It's just a time frame thing. There is definitely merit to it. Guys that use big draw stations for snaring or even foot traps, a lot of times they'll maintain those for a couple months even prior to the season. Just big dirt, big piles of whatever carcass they can get. They'll have these what they call draw stations or bait stations. So you can go as simple as just pre-making dirt holes, bait in the hole, obviously no trap, and then once season comes around, then put your trap in. One thing that you definitely want to check on that is your state laws. Some states don't allow that, like having a stake in the ground, even though there's no trap, doing some things like that are not legal. So it's important that you check your state laws before you do that, or if you're going to do that, to make sure that it is legal. So we've trapped in a number of different states, and I can tell you all states. Some are way more trapper friendly than others, and all of them have variations in laws and regulations as to what you can do, trap sizes, how close you can set to the road, all kinds of different regulations. So definitely make sure what you're about to do is legal in your state.
Thanks for watching the show, guys. Just want to let you know that we have the new catalog available. Pretty sharp looking cover there with Charlie working a muskrat hut. You can get this by calling the shop here at any time. Just give us your home address and we'll be glad to send you one. Or you can visit us at HoosierTrapperSupply.com and sign up that way, request one. It's real easy. It's on the home page. It's a brand new website. It's pretty sharp. And you can also sign up for our email newsletter, which informs you on show dates when they're coming out and product highlights and shows or specials that we may have going on at the time. Occasionally a blog by Charlie. So just a little bit of insight of what's going on here at Hoosier Trapper will be in those newsletters. One thing I wanted to add too is the Fur Shed series is still out there, so don't forget about that. We send them out randomly. There's no dates available. Anytime we think there's a tip or something useful that could help someone out in the field or in their shed, we'll go ahead and throw it out there for you. And it's real clean cut, straight to the point. Anything from trap modification to fur grading or whatnot, just anything that's done in the shed, not necessarily done in the field. Those tips can really be helpful, so be on the lookout for those. And go ahead and follow us too on all the social media sites. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the list goes on. Just find us on there and And we'd love to hear from you. Comments, like, post, all the good stuff. So we'll see you next time.
Join us on September 14th for the next episode of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors.